Hey J-Gang! So it's been a minute since I've stood in front of ye old nerd wall, as I like to call it, aka my wall of like roughly 300 Funko Pops. Woo! It's fine, guys. It's not an addiction. I can stop whenever I want to. But you know, I think that this wall behind me is a pretty good indicator that I really like to collect stuff. You know, like Blu-rays or Funko Pops or my jar of toenail clippings. You know, everyone has their thing that they like to collect. But in particular, I really like to collect movie memorabilia. You know, I really like to try collecting as close to a replica as possible as something that I really enjoy from a movie, you know, kind of like a keepsake, you know, like I really enjoy a film and I just want to have something from it. I am sure you guys are more than familiar with my Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, beautifully crafted by the guys over at the Amazing Spider Lab, which, you know, I was actually going to make a skit that involved that costume, but I had a bit of an accident with my face shell. You know, honestly, I might just be like really making a bigger deal out of it than anyone else would, because, like, you know, I'm a perfectionist and this is something that I own, so of course I notice it. But if you can't notice, the white mesh is actually missing, so you know that's exciting. I made a functioning replica of Star-Lord's helmet from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into the making of this thing, and you know what? I've actually documented the entire build process of this guy, from like getting the raw 3D print to you know, actually sanding it down and using filler primer and like actually making it into a completed prop with the electronics and everything. I'll upload it eventually whenever I finally finish editing that entire behemoth. I've got the Yashica Electro camera that Andrew Garfield used in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. I've got an actual working Sony Walkman, the WM1 model that Ellie has in the Last of Us games. Hell, for graduation, I even snagged myself an Adam West Batman cowl. Yeah, that is in my school yearbook. So, you know, I'm something of a collector myself, and I got this really neat piece in a couple weeks ago that I'm actually gonna be showcasing here on this video. I mean, I'm sure you've already seen the title. You know that it is a replica of Robert Pattinson's The Batman cowl. I don't know how well that pops up against my wall of Funko Pops. Maybe I should have done this in front of a white wall. Pretty freaking banger, am I right? Sculpted by Keith Hernandez over on Hernandez FX on Instagram. The dude is very talented, as I'm sure that you'll see in these close-ups right here. He's even managed to get like all the leather texturing in there and everything. It's just nutso. So I recently had a guy on Instagram shoot me a message because he saw a picture that I posted of this bad boy. And after a lot of discussing, he pretty much told me, you know what, just make an entire YouTube video just reviewing this immaculate piece of art, because I guess there's just not a whole lot out there on the internet on this particular cowl, like an actual like in-depth look at it and whatnot. So, you know, I figured I'd want to help my fellow nerds out. You know, maybe you're on the ropes about buying your own cowl, or maybe you're looking at different buyers and you're not sure which ones to go with. Well, you know what? I've got in hand right here the Hernandez FX Robert Pattinson, Rob Bat, and that's a Mr. Sunday Movies reference if you watch that channel, which if you don't, you should. They're entertaining as hell. Bat cowl! So, yeah. Let's get into it. I guess in order to actually like complete the look, I've gotta don the panda eyes on my face. So I'll be right back. Whew. Wow, can you believe I just did that without cutting the footage once? Crazy. I know, I'm talented, no big deal. So with most cows, normally you're supposed to like somehow impossibly cram your entire noggin through the neck and then into the head. But I kind of did what Cosplay Chris did over on his channel for his Battinson cowl, and that was essentially just following this seam line right here. Let's get that in focus. Essentially just following this seam line that runs across the underside of the chin and then down the side of the neck. I just cut it there and installed some Velcro tabs onto both pieces. So this kind of overlaps from, you know, where the cowl originally was. And then that just goes right on top and presses in there, and it's pretty good. I mean, obviously I didn't do a very good job because I'm looking at the monitor on the camera, and that's definitely not going to help me get this thing on. So I installed EVA foam, like those thin little like 3mm sheets, with some Gorilla Glue gel, like the green capped one. Then just stuck some typical Velcro onto that, and then glued the opposite side of the Velcro onto the inside of the neck, and now I pretty much can throw this on like a helmet. And it is such a relief So freaking easy to throw on. It does not take any effort at all. Real simple. You just pop it open, and then you just wiggle your noggin on there. Wear it like a dipshit for a second. And then, there we go. Yeah. Isn't that looking pretty rad? And then you just gotta... I'm actually gonna use the monitor here for a second to properly line this up. I'm gonna try. Yeah, that looks right. My Velcro's not totally aligned. Goddamn, help! I mean, help me. I'm Batman. Just kidding. Batman doesn't need help. Unless it's from Alfred, who'd be the one to strap this shut. I'm really trying here. It's really not helping that I have a sunburn on the back of my neck, and wiggling this all over the place is just rubbing that all around. So that's fun. How's your guys' week going? Good? That's good. That's great. Did you have to throw on a Cowl too? I hope you're not watching this to like know how to throw this on, because apparently I don't know how to throw a Cowl on. Well, at least how to line up my own Velcro tabs. Oh my goodness. I'm trying so hard, guys. Alright, you do the loop-de-loop and pull, and your Cowl should be looking cool. There, that's good enough. Epic. Awesome. We got it. It only took so long to do.
First try.
This is really like rubbing on my sunburn. It's kind of uncomfortable, not gonna lie. But that's okay, because it looks cool. I look awesome, and now I look like I'm ready to just boom, pow, whack some mentally ill homeless people, just like Batman. This thing fits so freaking snug. It is snugger than a bug in a rug, named Doug, who... What the hell else rhymes with rug? So this is just a Cowl right here, which Keith does offer just on its own, but for those who want the full Cowl experience, you'll notice in the movie that Robert Pattinson actually wears a bit of a collar around his Cowl to kind of, you know, make the neck seem a little bit wider and a little bit more menacing and gothic. Keith offers that as a package, which, surprise, surprise, is the one that I snagged for myself. So I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna get that, which is just right down here. I'm not wearing hockey pads. And here they are. So the collar comes in two different pieces. You've got the inner layer that immediately goes around your neck, and you've got the outer layer that sits right on top of that in your shoulders primarily. Fun little story. I had installed the Velcro on the neck, and I figured, you know, this could just slip right on top of my head. So, yeah, I did that. I slipped it on top of my head, and I was just like really excited. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And I went to take it off, and it wound up tearing right at that crevice all the way down. Yeah, so that's fun. You can kind of see it. I just fixed it with some of that Gorilla Glue gel that I mentioned, the one with the green cap. And that seemed to do the job. And I was getting ready to do another cosplay Chris method. Just try completely hiding the seam. But, as luck would have it, by the time that you throw the collar piece on, you can't even see the seam because the corner of the collar just perfectly hides that. So, awesome. So what I decided to do after, it's focusing on my background now. I don't want you to focus on Kratos and Atreus. Focus on me, please, for the love of God. I really don't like this camera's auto. Oh my fuck, wow. I decided, essentially, to avoid any other rips, I'm just gonna slice it up the back and install more EVA and Velcro, so it just goes on and off like a necklace now, pretty much, which I shall demonstrate here. Hopefully I don't take it as long. Nope. Nowhere near as long as I took to get the Velcro that was on the side of my Cowl. That's fun. So yeah, that's with the inner collar on, which it pretty much just kind of acts like a bib. It just kind of hangs and flaps around. And then I took some more, wouldn't you guess, Velcro, and attached two little triangles here and here on my little bib piece, I guess. Then I attached two big chunky triangles to the inside corners of the collar, there and there. Goes over your shoulders. And then it should align somewhat like this. So essentially you want the little dangles to be poking out of these little divots in the outer collar to line it up proper, at least for how it is in the movie. For like the brief instances that you don't see a cape just draped on top of it. Because with the cape, you're not gonna see any of this. It doesn't really matter. But for my OCD driven brain, I've gotta have it as close to as accurate as possible as what was seen in the movie. And then yeah, and then it just sits. And then, you know, oh, come on, bud. Yeah, there you go. Giving this thing the side eye, it looks like. But yeah, and then you get this pretty cool little silhouette with the collar just draping a little bit off your neck. And it looks pretty rad, not gonna lie. Man, if I were a criminal getting beaten up by this guy, I wouldn't really mind. He looks cool. maybe a little bit fun, you know? Having some internal parental issues that he never really got over, you know? We've all been there. This freaking cowl is it's pretty flexible, I'd say. You get some pretty good range of motion. If I didn't have that sunburn, I'd be a lot more comfortable with moving my neck around. But I mean, you get that pretty good motion. You could look down pretty all right. And then you can't really like look up. It'll pull the rest of this up with it. And you probably don't really want to do that anyway, because especially with like the urethane, it's just gonna like cling onto whatever surface it's onto, and it can cause a little too much pulling. So I would say, if you're gonna look up, you'll probably want to full body it, like the old Batman methods. It's pretty much the same thing with like turning, just to play it safe. Which, I mean, you look a lot cooler whenever you do that anyway. Damn, this lighting looks pretty freaking cool. The artistry on this thing is just absolutely nuts. You've got all the leather texturing going on this sculpt. You've even got like all the battle scars and like the little nicks and gashes all over it. Really freaking cool. Trying to show it off with my lighting. Yeah, but it's really awesome. You even get like all the stitching lines and whatnot. This entire thing is just a very impressive sculpt. It has some, I want to say it's something like some sort of like insulation foam or some rubber foam, something like that is sprayed into the ears to keep it from bending in the packaging and just bending from, like, it's still a little bit flexible, but you know, it's not going to warp the entire thing unless it's like really getting like a lot of pressure and weight pushed down on those ears. But yeah, this thing is just really impressive. I'd say the only fault with it, it's not even like the cowl, it's a me issue. I think my face is just too round for it. But you know what, that's alright, because I'm trying to have confidence, you know? Not everyone can have that slick, sharp Robert Pattinson, Caden Kyle Kirby jawline, you know? Not everyone can be blessed with that, and that's okay. You know, you gotta work with what you've got. You know, you don't have to be like everyone else, you just gotta be you. That's what matters. That's all that it is. I don't know what I'm going on about. But no, this thing is just really absolutely impressive. I'll give you like a little bit more of a close-up over the Velcro attachments that I've got going on, like right here on the collar pieces. Just a little Velcro triangle here, and like a chunk of Velcro on the opposite side. And yeah, pretty much just like that. Same on the other side too. This whole thing just drops right off. And then on the back side, there's more Velcro, so it just pops off like a necklace, just like so. And then, you know, just attach it together, and then it's one whole piece again. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys the Velcro here on the side. Just peel it, and then there we go. So pretty much like you're undoing a bicycle helmet, and then you just kind of wiggle this thing off. Whew. And then you're good to show your emo eye makeup to the world, as well as these creases, I guess, that happen on your cheek. Thursday, October 31st. 2 years of sleepless nights have turned me into a nocturnal animal. But yeah, this entire cowl is really cool. Speaking of cool, you definitely want to wear this thing in a little bit of cooler temperatures. It's the middle of summer here in dumb old Texas, and I don't have the ceiling fan on, so it's already getting pretty hot just from wearing this over my noggin. This thing is just an absolute work of art. I think you should genuinely hit up Keith if you are interested in obtaining one of these things. He got back to me pretty quickly, and it took about 5 weeks, almost exactly 5 weeks for this thing to get to me in the mail. So yeah, pretty rad stuff. But like, God, one of my favorite details here is like this little, like the sharp edge on this cheekbone right here. If you're unfamiliar, a lot of this cowl in the movie was designed to kind of be like a skull. So it's got these very sharp like cheekbone, temple areas, and I just absolutely dig it. I also like this little crease, this edge right here, where the back of the skull would be. It just makes it so sharp looking. It's just great. I love it so much. Easily my favorite Batman cowl and suit in general to date. I don't know about you, but I just cannot stand Christian Bale's little mouth window that he's got going on with this cowl. I think he's still my favorite Bruce Wayne, but Robert Pattinson I think is definitely my favorite Batman, down to like almost everything, down to tone, style, like design wise and everything. Like just everything about his Batman's absolutely spot on in my opinion. I just really freaking dig it. Try to be aware that any Batman cowl will always tear right here first, because a lot of people just naturally try to like get up underneath there and, you know, like pull it up, or kind of put too much pressure there in that little cheeky area, and it's just typically pretty weak on like any cowl, and it's just really easy to tear right there. So I would say just be sure that you're not like tugging. Try to like wiggle it, shimmy it off of your head essentially. But yeah, this thing is genuinely like a work of art. It is pretty freaking awesome. I love it so much. And I think that if you are an absolute nut for movie memorabilia and you want a Batman cowl for yourself, and this is the design that you want, I really don't think that there's any better choice than Hernandez FX. I think that he easily offers, there we go, talk about that shimmy again. There we go. Born again. But yeah, I think that Keith I think that Keith easily offers the most accurate sculpt that there is. I think all the other ones out there, like, while they are pretty good, I think they just like miss like some little details, you know, like some of them just don't have that leather grain. Some of them will have the battle scarring, some of them won't have the battle scarring. So like I feel like there's just always something off with all the other ones, like the eye cutouts might be a little too sharp on other molds. But this one I think just really nails every single little detail that is present on the actual screen used cowl. So I think if you are going to snag yourself a Battinson cowl, Hernandez FX on Instagram, I will link him down below. I think that is definitely the option that you should shoot for. I don't know how much that other sellers have their cowls go for, but this is easily worth the money if you're gonna go for a cowl anyway. So I would very highly recommend you snag this guy. I hope this wasn't just too much rambling going on, and I hope you were actually able to get something out of this. I always feel so awkward talking straight to the camera. I'm like, oh man, I don't have an actual script to work off of or anything. I'm just going right off the top of my head. So I do hope that you were able to actually pull something useful from this video. Definitely shoot Hernandez FX a DM on Instagram if you are interested in snagging a cowl for yourself. So as always, J Gang, like, comment, subscribe. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you'd like to support the channel, check out our merch over on Teespring, or you can support us on Patreon, where you can get all sorts of fun goodies and rewards, such as early access to videos and polls that let you choose which episode of SpongeBob we remake here on the channel next. If you'd like to see more cosplay content, then be sure to leave a comment down below. Lord knows I have plenty to share. We'd also love to give a super special thank you to our wonderful Patreon supporters: Anaiah Belk, Dungeony, Kevin Zoo, Kristian Hogg, Rehird Shan, and Shuki34. Be sure to follow us over on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Everything is linked in the description down below.